Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Oh, that looks like that was probably a bit loud. Let me take that volume down a wee bit. How the hell are you? Are you all right? Are you living the dream? Is it? Have you had enough for Christmas already? Do you want it all to be over? I'm not a super Christmas person, so this is as excitable as it gets. And also, I've got a this is green, and it's about as much decoration as the workshop's going to get. So, oh, see, look, there you go. So that's as there's a red chisel on there. Look, that's as chisel as we get. So we've got a few things to do tonight. I'm going to try not to hit the things. I meant to get some like foam type stuff to put under this microphone base, because when I move the microphone or if I hit this, it makes a noise. So I will do my level best to not do either of those things. Can't promise it though, because I will forget. I've got a cup of tea going on right here, and we'll say hello to a couple of people before we get started. So who have we got in the chat? Going live and words was probably a bad idea, but you know. Right, so who have we got in here? Tell me, where you're from. Let me know who you are, where you're from, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Because it's nice to know. I'm pretty sure that everyone I've got in here will probably be in the UK at the moment, but we never know. So we've got Tutankhamun in. Tutankhamun, even. How you doing, buddy? Wonky Cuts Workshop, lovely old job. Nice to see you. Andy Cresswell. Scrapwood Andy. I was actually watching your channel the other day, Scrapwood Andy. I'm sure it was you that I was watching, because you work in a little tiny dinky little workshop, don't you? I was looking at that the other day, and there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Andy Cresswell, have I said hello to you already? But bar humbug indeed, I'm with you. Chewbacca, good evening to you as well. Jim Ricketts, good evening. Idler's Dream, good evening. Hythe Workshop Designs, good evening. Alistair Walls from Essex, not Wallace, sorry, from Essex. Nice to see you, Alistair. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. I'm from Suffolk, but don't hold it against me. Well, yes, I'm Norfolk at the moment. We'll talk about that in a few though. So, and I just realised that I haven't cleared that subject with the wife, so I might get in trouble. But roll one later is happy Christmas to you and yours. Thank you very much indeed. I missed one there. Wonky Cut, nice to see you from Hertfordshire. Lovely old job. Oh, I just realised I can do things like this. Oh, look at that, look. Wonky, you're famous. Can I make it bigger? Can I? Ah, I can, look. Oh, look at that. Let's do that from now on. Roll and later, happy Christmas to you and yours, and you as well. Tutankhamun, I hope you're feeling well. Taking over, not dead yet, my friend. Keith Metcalf from Christchurch, New Zealand. All right, Keith, thank you very much indeed for coming on. Is it like 6 o'clock in the morning there? I don't really know what the time is. We've got Paradining from Hampshire. Nice to see you. Heidi, glad that I've managed to catch you live at last. Thank you very much, Andy. Beaming you across the universe to Kashik. Kashik? I don't know where that is. Is it Kashik? Look at this. Hello, Thomas McGlynn from Ireland. Nice to see you. Lovely old job. Phil. Hi, Dean. Phil from Great Yarmouth. Whee! I grew up in Great Yarmouth. Used to be a bouncer on the doors in Great Yarmouth back in the day as well. But less said about that, the better. Right, I think we should probably get talking about stuff. Now I've said a hello to a bunch of you. So what we've got is HD beard. I didn't really do much with my beard today, and it's in a bit of a mess. But there you go. The last 2 reviews that I did, fantastic beard. So happy with it. 7:30 a.m. Sunday, sun out and 29 degrees. Fantastic. It is. I've had the heater running. Don't know if you can hear it in the background. When I did a test on this earlier today, I couldn't. but it's a massive 11.6 degrees in this workshop now. So that's fictional Dean from the Star Wars films. Aha! You see? Now then, I don't really know anything about Battlestar Galactica. But so the things that I want to talk about today is we've got this. You will see that this, I can't zoom in, but this is my Delta nut. Now this is for a unisaw. This came all the way from America and I think cost me about 30 quid with postage. So it's monumental. I have no idea if this is going to fit. So we're going to find out together. This is still sealed at the top. I've not tried it yet and it arrived 2 days ago. It's been almost killing me. But yeah, but the realization when seeing this that I'm probably going to have to sort out some kind of washer situation has hit me hard as well. So we'll find out more about that later. I'll show you a couple of the 3D things that I've printed in time for getting the table saw going. So that'll be cool. Start up a business and call it Norfolk and Good. Yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, there was very nearly a YouTube channel coming out of me with that name. I have got, I don't need to see that, so we'll bin that off. I know you can't see what I'm talking about, but I actually made some notes. And whether I stick to those notes or not, something altogether different. But table saw nut. Right, we've got something else to talk about. I've got a video recommendation for you. A couple of tools that I've had over the last 12 months that I'm really happy about getting. And they're not all new. I'm going to tell you that for nothing. Some plans for 2024 with regards to the channel as well. So hopefully you guys will all stick around for that. Now then, happy Christmas from Will Bear in Sutton-on-Sea. Oh, hello. Sean, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Right, so the table nut. Should we just get that done out of the way or shall I save that? I'll save that for a minute. So here's something that I think is really, really exciting. And if, oh, by the way, if you can just let me know if I'm loud enough, that would be tip top, please. But something that's super exciting. I have been in this workshop now for, or we've lived here for about 4 or 5 years, I think. And I've been using this as a workshop since I started my channel, which is, I think, is it nearly 2 years now? I can't remember. But I've been quite lucky because this is a like 3.5 by 4.5 meter space. I think maybe a bit bigger. I can't quite remember. Is it 4.5 by 5.5? Can't remember. In fact, hang you on, I can tell you. So from there, from that chisel to the front door there is 4.24 meters, and I'm about in the middle of the room because I'm not getting up and moving unless I have to. That is 1.8. So whatever double that is, that's the size of this workshop. This, by the way, is from Sigmund. This is remember the Sigmund laser that I reviewed a while ago? They sent me this with a t-shirt and things as a Christmas present, which is very nice of them. But it's a tape measure, which is a pretty poor way of coming back. Look, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Oh, God. There you go. But it's also got a laser in it as well. So the laser there for measuring. So not great for woodworking necessarily, but pretty good, especially if you do kind of like bigger stuff or you do house installs or anything like that. It's just a useful thing to have in your belt, I imagine. But this is the Sigmund CT50. I haven't got a review or do anything with it. They just sent it to me because they're nice people. And yeah, it's an interesting bit of kit if that's the sort of thing that tickles your taste buds. Anyway, sounds good from here. Thank you very much. I'm loud enough. Great stuff. Sounds bang on. Brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. So I was talking about the workshop, wasn't I? And this is what I haven't checked on with the wife. So we'll keep it a secret that I told you. Hello there from the USA. Well, hello, Machine 5464. So we're moving. We're buying a house. I say a house. It's a bungalow, and we're downsizing. So we are literally just waiting for the exchange to take place now. We'd hoped that it was going to be pre-Christmas, but we're waiting on getting some documentation from the seller, and then we can get it get it done. But what that's going to mean is my workshop in the initial stages, at the very least, will be a 2.9 by 5.4, I think, single car garage. 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 Where did that come from? Yeah, so it's going to be kind of pretty much, I don't know if that's any longer than a normal English single car garage. I can't remember, but it's one of those garages that I think is too small to get a car in. And I started, when I was doing my metalworking stuff, I started in a garage sort of approximately that size. So yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit longer than this, but it is going to be thinner. So what it means to you guys and the channel is that I will be doing a series of videos about kitting out a normal size UK garage as a workshop, which I think should be pretty interesting, because I've done a bunch of looking around on YouTube and what have you, and there's some people that kind of work from it, but not many people have kind of highlighted how they've laid things out and why they've laid things out. I know that the Monkey Boy workshop, fantastic Instagram, and he doesn't do a great deal on YouTube, but there is a brilliant workshop tour on YouTube. I strongly advise going to see it if you're in the UK, or even if you're not. If you're not in the UK, if you're in America, machine 4654, whatever you are, 5464 even, then go and watch that, because that highlights the little kind of workshops that we have here in the UK. But my point being that Monkey Boy Workshop does a fantastic job about really making the most from his space. And on his Instagram, he's got a playlist of how he kind of went around sorting out the garage for the workshop. But when you see the YouTube video, it kind of blows your mind with how much he's got in this really small space. I still think there's some level of witchcraft involved. I can't quite figure it out, but you know, you go with what you go with, don't you? Thomas McGlynn, thank you very much indeed. So I mean, that's going to be pretty exciting, because I'm going to be starting from scratch. I know I've got to sort out the flooring. Well, I've got to sort out everything. I've got a leak in there before we even get there. I know that. So the roof is going to need some work, but I've got to sort out the flooring. And one of the walls is I don't know if it's classed as a party wall, because it's not kind of a main room to the neighbour's house. I don't think it is. But I think that my garage wall would go on to their utility room if their place is set out the same as the one we're buying is. So I've got no idea, you know, what they're like, and obviously I don't want to go in there and start making loads of noise and start really annoying them. So I'm going to do my best to figure out an affordable way of soundproofing, or at least making it resilient so it doesn't go through that particular wall. It's a flat roof, so it's not going to go up into a loft space or anything like that. So yeah, I've got to figure that out. I'm going to be putting rubber matting down on the floor with underlay, and I'll be decorating it all out. I'll be spraying it all white, and you know, putting some lights in and all that sort of nonsense. And I'll explain to people all the reasons why I'm doing all of that, and hopefully that'll help anyone else if they're looking to set up a workshop, because I'm no professional, obviously. I mean, if we've seen what I've made, the few things that I've made on the channel, we know this. But I think I've sort of gathered enough I use everything in the workshop, and whether it's on camera or off camera, I make a bunch of things that gives me an indication as to sort of how I want a workshop laid out. Does that make sense? So I'm hoping that it can help other people. And also, hey Steve, how you doing? Hey Gary, hi Keith. So and when it comes to the lighting, I'm going to be doing something different to how Monkey Boy has done his. But it's going to be some interesting stuff. Now, one of the things that I'd love some feedback from you guys is, are you interested in seeing any of the renovations that I'll be doing inside the place? Because the bathroom, I've got to pretty much rip the bathroom out and figure that one out. There's going to be a lot of work necessary, and I'm still a very broken human being, so I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do it or how long it's going to take to get it done, but I'm going to be working my little self to death to make it happen. One thing that I have got now, the DIY guy, is that his name? I'm sure that's his name. on YouTube, lovely fella, did a video on a Wagner airless paint sprayer recently, and I managed to pick one of those up on Marketplace for less than the £214 Erbauer one that you can get from Screwfix. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing that one. But yeah, so when it comes to stuff, there will be, initially, I know the bathroom has to get sorted out. I know the garage will have to get sorted out straight away. We're hoping for have about a month overlap. So so we have time to sort certain things out before I have to move all of this sort of stuff in there, obviously, because that'd be a nightmare. So yeah, so when it comes to the internals, the bathroom, don't know if anyone cares about that. But over time, I will do things like, kitchen cupboards and all that sort of nonsense as well. So yeah, I'm sure you don't need to see decorating, but for other stuff, I figure there might be some interest there. So you'll have to let me know. But for the garage, definitely showing the workshop stuff. What we got going on here? Let's have a wee look at this. Andy says, yes, interested in it all. Lovely old job. Tootin' Carman says, yes. Show us everything from the house to the workshop. Absolutely. The only thing that I will sort of preempt things with is that occasionally some things may have to get done because they'll take over a couple of days. And when I'm not well enough to be on camera, I know, like, part of me says that I should show that when I'm having my really bad days. But another part of me is still kind of has issue with putting that out on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Like today, I'm happy and cheery, and while I can kind of get off my ass and move to the other side of the workshop, I still I'm in bits by the time I get around to the front door. So, yeah, but it's a funny old thing. What else have we got here? Oh yes, I'd love to see that. Hi Trevor from Broadstairs, Kent. Calling all these names reminds me of Festal Friday with Sedge. I don't know that. I don't know who Sedge. I don't know who Sedge is. Do I? I don't think I do. Yeah, so there we go. And Wonky Cuts saying about the renovation as well. So yeah, there will be. I'll make sure that a bunch of stuff does come up on the channel. But sometimes there will be a showing me while I'm doing it, and then other times there might be a kind of stuff where I've managed to catch things in the process and I'd give it a voiceover. You know what I mean? Because when I'm having a rough day, this face, can you imagine it looking worse? There's nightmare fuel for you. So yeah, so we don't want to have that when I'm all puffy and swollen and looking all a bit silly. Right, so just notice your subscribe. that's that you're not supposed to mention that. You're supposed to just realize it subconsciously and just do it. Looking forward to the refit. I've got a small 14x10 shed. Need a few tips and hints to get it better organized. Excellent. Well, I'll certainly do my best to help you out with that one, Gary. Hi John, how you doing? So yeah, it's going to be some pretty exciting times. And then depending on what goes on over the first sort of 6 months of being in the property, or maybe sooner, I might even be building an entirely new workshop that's bigger outside in the garden. So hopefully I'll cover a bunch of bases. We'll have the nice small workshop that's representative of a lot of things in the UK, and then we'll have something that's a bit larger. So, and everyone likes watching a blooming build video, don't they? Yeah. Right. I'm not checking to make sure that I'm keeping up with all of the chat, and I've got my streaming software chat going rather than the YouTube one. So if I miss you, I'm not being rude on purpose, I promise. Right. So, what else we got? So moving house, that's coming up. A video to go and watch, and I will try and every time I mention a video, I'll try and put something in the comments afterwards. I didn't do it beforehand because I'm not that prepared. Thorn Design Co. is a really nice young lad, and he's a Brit as well. Thorn Design Co. channel is he's on his journey as well, and he's done an amazing little bit of furniture. The video went out today, and I highly recommend going and check it out because he's got some skills. Even though he's super early into his woodworking, I think he's better than me. and he's better than, well, I mean, it's not hard, but yeah, and he's got some skills, and I think that if he does a bunch with his channel in 24, then it'll grow exponentially larger than mine, and I wish him all the best for it. But yes, go and check it out. Thorn Design Co. Do what you can in your own time. Any content in new homes appreciated, but not at the expense of your health. Thank you very much. Toot's been subscribed for quite some time. Thank you. I think you were one of my first, weren't you? If you're not feeling too grand, you could just have a bit of a chat to camera and share your thoughts on the job so far. That's the thing. Sometimes I can't do the being on camera. When I'm rough, I can't cope with being on camera. We would like to see whatever you feel you can do. Will Bear Works. Oh, hello, fella. Right. So I think we've still got some more stuff to talk about. We've been 20 minutes already. What's that all about? So I will move across to the table saw, and I say move across. It's literally just here. It's the magic of YouTube. You think this place is massive, but it's tiny, and it's not as tiny as the new workshop, but it's not big. But I've just realised that I'm using this microphone. When I move, I'm going to have to move the microphone. So you'll have to let me know if I go really quiet. Hold on. Now, need to turn the computer around, look. Let's do that. Right, that's what I can see going on right there. Oh, no. See, look, I was prepared. I set up another camera stand. For those that are interested, I am using my MacBook Pro for doing the streaming, and then I'm just using my iPhone as a wireless camera, which is the tits. Right, so we're not straight. Does anyone care? I think that's going to have to do the trick. So that's something that I printed out the other day. I'm pretty, I say printed, lasered out. I'm pretty happy with that. Drum roll. Have we got a drum roll? Got a timpani roll. Oh yeah, I have got a drum roll. But yeah, so there's that. But I used my my laser on that one, and that came out really nicely, I think. So I'm going to stick that on the front because there was sort of this really nasty old sort of metallic sticker that was on the front of the saw beforehand. But we'll talk about all of these in a moment. I know we're only really interested in if the thing is going to fit. So, I mean, look how thick that is. I love the fact that this saw has got really deep throat, misses, to handle really thick zero clearance plates. Right, let's lift it up. Right, see if we can get you even closer to the fun. I think that's going to have to be it. Right, so this is it. Like I said, nearly 30 quid, I think, or just over 30 quid. So let's tear it open and see if it works. I am really stressed about this. I'm not going to lie. But I don't know if you can see, but there's a slight kind of ridge on the top to show the top of the nut, but the back doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of sort of thickness. So I think it's supposed to have one of the big, slightly conical washers. So yeah, but there you go. Right. Huh. Huh. No. No. Oh. Oh. It goes on that far, and then that's it. No! This was literally my last hope. No! Don't be like that. Don't do me like that, man. Well, this is devastating, isn't it? This is for the right-hand tilt, which is what this is. Delta Unisaw. Oh. That's what that's for. Right, hang on. I'm not going to stress out quite yet. I'm close. I've got a bit of a sweat on because I'm starting to stress out. But, hang on. Let's hope that there's some really dirty threads under there that's stopping it. I was reaching over so I could grab the belt. What have I done with it? Oh, there it is. Oh. Right. Come on. Come on, Mr. Nut. Do it. Do it. No! Now, the thing is, should I... It kind of... Oh, I don't know whether I should give it some beans with a spanner or not. Is the nut nylock? No. What thread standard is the nut? Well, I think this is a 12 TPI Acme thread. 5/8, 12 TPI Acme. Which is incredibly problematic. No, kind of, it's like it's getting all the way there bar like one thread. Maybe if I get a spanner on it, we'll just give it a little bit of a nudge and see what happens. No, it doesn't have a locking washer. No, I'll show you. I'm fairly confident people aren't going to believe me. See, that's all metal in there. No nylon or anything else going on in that bad boy. And that's literally just a machined nut. Right, let me just get a... Oh goodness, I've got too many things in the workshop. Hold on. No, that is definitely not going on there. Bummer. And that, I can feel the end of the arbor right there. Well, that's just stressful, isn't it? Oh, hang on, we have to put this down again. Oh, when I was talking about the threads earlier on, it's left-handed as well, so yeah, there's that. But yeah, if we look at the threads themselves, they're not kind of in overly poor shape. There's nothing that suggests that it should stop at any stage. But all we've got is the fact that it doesn't quite fit. It literally goes, I mean, how many turns does it go? Will that tell us anything? Right, that's caught. So that's one turn. Half. 2 turns. Half. About 2.5 turns on there. And inside there is 1, 2, 3, 4 threads, I think. Try the nut both ways. I did. I'll try it again. So I tried it with the little edgy bit at the front. I'll try it. Oh, sorry. I'll try it with it at the back. Oops. And again, sticks right there. You can kind of almost see, because you can see the end of the arbor, but it's just wrong. So the thread pattern isn't quite where we wanted it. Well, isn't that a bummer? Never mind. So we'll figure that one out later. Oops. All right. Move things around a little bit. Oh, goodness. Right. Here. Oh, that's all over the place now. I'll look at chat in a moment. Hold you on. Ow. Right. Ooh. Okay. Well, bummer. I waited almost a month for that. Honestly, I've got myself in a right hot, sticky mess now. Take all these off. Right, so what are we saying here, gang? Windy gun, it will cut its own thread. Yeah, but then I could properly mess things up as well. Keith, hello, buddy. Yeah, I said no. I think the nuts are like a wash. No. Thought Acme thread had a square top profile. It kind of does. It's not a. There's one beginning with a B. It's not that thread, and it might be a kind of a very specific stylized trapezoid type thing. But the thing is, I think this saw comes from a Taiwanese manufacturer that made a hell of a lot of particularly good quality stuff in the 90s and moving forward. They might even still make stuff for people like Grizzly. I've even reached out to them. I've reached out to Delta because I know that they did one the same as this. I've reached out to Jet because I know they did one the same as this, with the same internals and everything. So, but just not got anywhere, unfortunately. Now, I know there is a, on eBay, someone in America is selling a brand new 5/8 shaft, and the nut and the washers and all that sort, and the bearings as well. But that's like 160 quid, and I can't afford that for the minute. But also, what I don't want to do is get that and then pay all the import taxes and nonsense that you're going to have with that, and then find out that that's not going to work either. So it's a bit of a pickle. It looks the wrong thread. Do you think? Oh dear. Try the nut both ways. Yeah, did that. Keith, face turquoise covering eyes. Gutted for you. Thank you, Ken. Would it be difficult to have an arbor made? Wonky, I honestly don't know, mate. I mean, I've contacted so many people, both in the UK and abroad, as well as contacting the firms. I also contacted a bunch of people um, that make nuts and things, and I sent them pictures and measurements and all sorts of stuff. And every single person says, "Nope, can't do it." And the problem as well is, if I need to send the arbor off to somebody, then I can absolutely guarantee, because that's not going to have been, the arbor's not going to have been taken out for the last 25 years at least. So and so by taking it out, I'll have to use a heat gun, or not heat gun, a torch to heat up the cast iron so I can remove the bearings. But there's a strong chance I'm going to knacker the bearings when that happens. And seeing as I can't find a single nut that's going to fit, then the potential of getting bearings that are, they're a fair size, is quite worrying. So that's where I'm at with that one. Now you know the thread size of the nut, you could get a die and recut the shaft. But unless I build it up with weld first, it's going to be too small. It's going to be smaller than the 5/8. That's the problem. I even asked Guy in our CNC shop, and he reckons he can make one. Yeah, he'll definitely need the arbor, otherwise won't have a chance. PCB might be able to help get a custom made arbor, maybe, but again, I mean, it means taking all of this stuff out to do that. What about a local engineering company? Yeah, I've tried a bunch of them. And there also comes to a point of, the financial of it. I think it would be really, really good to get this saw working, because it's 25 years old at least. It's a solid saw. It's really, really solid. It's got nice heavy cast iron top with decent sized miter slots, and it's marvelous. The motor can be changed out if I want to put something bigger onto it. There's a lot of positives for it. Dust collection saw ship, I can figure that one out. But there comes a point of going like, right, if I have to spend £400 to get an arbor made, that's kind of, that's a bit daft, because I then might have to spend another £200 on getting bearings or something. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there comes a point of sort of diminishing returns for this, I think, which is sad. So it's upsetting, but at least, hey, we've tried it. I've like I said, I've got a bunch of I'm getting cold now. I've got a bunch of pictures that I've taken with measurements and stuff on it. I've sent them out to people, and it's not happening. I used to be an industrial mechanic back home in Norway, and I made parts like that on a regular basis. Replicate the arbor and make it more commonly used left-hand threads. Super glue it. No, I get what you mean. I think the reason it's got the threads that it has got is because it's a long enough arbor to use a dado blade, and I think that a regular thread pattern would potentially have sort of the valleys would be too big, so the internal blades might not line up correctly. I think that's why they did it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I think that's why they used this kind of weird thread pattern. What about Aids workshop on here? You're always making bits and bobs. Maybe you could like I keep saying, buddy, it at best, if someone can, they are 100% going to need me to remove the arbor, which is then going to fairly confidently knacker the bearings. If there's a model engineering club near you, you might find someone. No, just sad to see you not getting any use of what could be a solid saw. I know. And I am really proud of the refurb, because normally I do a bit of a half-assed job at refurbing things, but with that, I'm quite pleased with the work I've done on it. I think it looks the tits. And polishing the front up was really hard. But anyway, it is what it is. So we tried it. It's disappointing, but hey, at least we've learned something. And I now know a bunch of threads that don't fit it. So that's good. I imagine, because I think the Acme pattern was correct, but I think the TPI is wrong for this one. You know, the one that I just tried. I think that TPI is wrong. That's why it threads on fairly confidently for a couple, like 2.5 rounds, and then it just stops. So it makes sense to me that I need to find more information on this particular arbor nut than this particular arbor to find out what the TPI is and see if I can change that. Is it defo the wrong thread? Not just a bear or nick on the arbor threads. Yeah, I cleaned it all up and yeah, I showed that off and it's definitely not happening. So yeah, anyway, it is what it is. That's a shame. But let's carry on with the rest of the live stream, shall we? It can't all be sad. I wish I drank still because I would be getting battered tonight. Oh dear. Gutted for you, Dean. I hope you get one sorted, get it working out. Hope you get one day. I hope one day you get it sorted and working. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, it'll either happen or it won't, but it's been a solid experience along the way. Obviously, I hope that I can because I think, like I said, it's going to be an awesome saw, but it is what it is. Use a thread gauge to match the nut and arbor. I've not seen a thread gauge thingamajig on an Acme. How's your father? You know? When it comes to, I have also seen on Amazon, I have seen a left-hand thread cutter that is 12 TPI, I think. Got a feeling I literally took it off my wish list last night, in fact, in bed, because I thought, I've got a nut that's going to work now. Oh dear, but left-handed, I think it's about 12 TPI, and I think it's buggered, but there we go. You can buy thread gauges that have thread machined into flat plate and come in differing TPI and angles, so you can identify both TPI and the thread angle. Well, I'll have a look, Ralph, and yeah, we'll see what I can find. Right, let's go moving on from that one. So yes, go and see the Thorn Design Co video because that's awesome. He's a lovely chap as well, and yeah, he's a very talented young man. 2023 surprises. So one of the surprise tools that I was going to say was the saw, because I was confident that nut was going to work. Moving on, I have had some bargains this year, and I think that it's great to be able to see if you've got patience and if you've got the energy to wait around for stuff, and you don't really care what things look like, you can pick up some amazing bargains. The lathe that I got that I showed off in a previous video, I mean, it is a monster. I do not need a lathe this big at all. Definitely don't need it. But one of the things that I will do is I will put a sharpening system on the end of the bed so I can kind of have everything in one place. Pardon me, I'm thinking about getting one of those XL sharpeners, you know, that looks like a Tormek, but it's not, you know. Because it's the cheapest one on Amazon, so I figured it might be beneficial for people to know if it's any good or if it's a pile of poop. So if I get that, then yeah, job's good. Because I did make my own little sharpening station, but it does still go a little bit too quick, and because it's like a mini induction motor in there, you can't put like a router speed controller on it. So yeah, it needs a VFD to really slow that down, and they're hella expensive for what they are. So yeah, it's let me know if you're interested in seeing the XL sharpener that's 126, 130 quid, something like that, on Amazon. If you are, I'll definitely keep an eye out and see if they're available in the sales. But back to what I was saying, the lathe, I can't remember what did I pay 50 quid for it, something like that. Way too big, but it's a monster. It came with the chuck, it came with some tools, it absolutely fantastic. I didn't have to do the same level of renovation that I did with the table saw on it, because it was just a bit rusty on the bed, and that was just a 10-minute job to clean that up. the rest of it, and it's just been working fine. I've been having a great time with it. I'm still not a proficient turner, not by any stretch of the imagination. But again, with that one, if you're interested in seeing me make a hash of some turning, then I'd happily do that. Maybe that could be a live stream or something like that. I could do some turning, and you could all take the mickey out of me. Possibly an idea. So see what you think about that one. But that was definitely a fantastic purchase, and very, very cheap. And it's got speed control as well, which is ace. What else was good? The Makita track saw. Now, that was a new purchase, but literally night and day. Literally night and day from the Erbauer. And I love it. I love it so much. I want to use it more. And one of the things that when I move the workshop, I'm going to... The table that I built to house the router and all that sort of stuff might get changed, but I think it's going to go up against one of the side walls, and that's going to mean that I'll have an MFT slash what are they called, plunge saw station set up the whole time, which will be great, and that'll be really interesting. So yeah, the Makita saw, brilliant, definitely worth it in my opinion. The Hyundai VAC that I reviewed, I still use that all the time. I know that some people mentioned on the video that there were some issues, challenges with the testing that I did, and I think I said that in the video, that it was, I couldn't really compare apples to apples with my main system because things were different sizes and all that sort of stuff. But it was a kind of an idea. But I use that all the time. Now, that's something that I could probably show you, actually. Hold you on. Oh, that might be. Oh. Ow. Ow. It'll be worth it, promise. Can you see that? Kind of. Right, this is a 3D printed cam lock system. There we go, I'll get there in the end. Cam lock system that you add to things. Hang on. Ow. So, what I was saying, in case you didn't hear that, is that is a 3D printed cam lock system. Now, I mentioned it on the 3D printing or technology in the workshop video, and honestly, fantastic. I got that, or I printed that up. I think the guy's name is Peter H on printables.com. If you want to go and have a look, just look for cam lock on printables and you'll find it. And there are a loads of adapters that you can put on your tools. So I've got adapters on. Have I got one on this router yet? No, I haven't yet. But I have on my old router and my table, my circular saw, and a bunch of other things, and my miter saw. Loads of things have got that going on, and it just makes life so much easier. And if you've got a 3D printer or know someone that has, way cheaper than buying some of the really expensive systems that are out there, So yeah, definitely one of the best things that's happened in the workshop this year. Now then, the JCB tools. I've been putting these videos out recently, and I know people get very funny about their tools, and I kind of get it, but for cheap, affordable tools, especially when they were on sale, unbelievable value. I am genuinely shocked, and I'm not someone that says nice things just for the sake of it, and I'm quite a grumpy ass. I've got one or two, not negatives, but for this and the drill, I've got kind of negative points to say about them. But for the things like the circular saw, the 12-volt system, and the grinder, unbelievable value for money. Fantastic. Definitely worth a purchase. And I get nothing from it. I don't get any kickback or anything like that. When I've talked to them about things that I felt could be better or anything else, or even stuff that they do or don't offer in their product range, they've been really good and really kind of interested to hear feedback. And that, I give people a lot of credit when they're like that, because there's a lot of companies that are very much along the lines of, well, it is what we make and we're better than you, so get stuffed. And yeah, so the JCB stuff may or may not be your thing, but if you're looking for cheap tools, definitely suggest giving it some beans. Obviously, I don't throw them in and out of a truck all day, so I don't know that sort of level of longevity, but it is what it is. Now then, there is other stuff as well, but I've just realised how long this is going on for. And I've literally just closed my notes down, and I don't know why. So, we've got a bunch of new stuff to look forward to in 2024 with the new workshops. We've got hopefully some more product videos. Hopefully we'll one day get this saw going. And I promised myself ages ago that I was not going to buy a table saw until I could afford a Laguna. And I really want to stay with that. I don't class this as buying a new saw. So, yeah, I really want to stay with that. So that's another reason to get this going. But yeah, so there's a bunch of new stuff coming up in 2024. Do you want to see more live streams like this? Maybe like once a month or something. If you do, then please, leave a comment down below and let me know, or make sure that you hit the like button. There you go. I've not said that so far. Because yeah, it would be great. How far are you moving, Dean? Well, just onto the edge of Suffolk. So I'm a Norfolk boy moving on to the Suffolk border. What's that all about? That's just not cricket at all. I'm not happy about that. But there we go. I tell you what, my air cleaner. Remember the air cleaner that I made? If anyone's watching that can't remember the air cleaner, let me know and I'll get the camera and show it to you. It looks absolutely awful, but it seems to be working. I will show you because I think it's important. Again, this is a money thing. Ow. Right. I mean, would you look at the state of that? How awful does that... I mean, on the other side, I drove all the screws in all the way. But on this side, nope, didn't do that. But it looks terrible. But look at the colour of the... look at the colour of the filters. Oh. Yes. So, oh god, it's on the whip again. Oh, this getting up and down business can get stuff. Right, if it's on the piss, that's going to have to stay like that now. I can't be asked to move it again. Right, so my point being that if it wasn't working at all, those filters would not be the colour that they are. And that is that it does work. It's slow. It's certainly not quick by any stretch of the imagination. And it's just a normal kind of house fan that's in there. But it's doing something. And I think that we all kind of get really wrapped in up. I mean, I know I just said that I really want a Laguna saw, and I do. But there's nothing wrong with having something aspirational. But it doesn't mean that you can't have stuff now. Do you know what I mean? There's a million and one ways of doing things. And just because you can't afford a saw stop or a Laguna or any of this sort of posh gear that we see on YouTube doesn't mean that you can't make exceptional stuff with minimal tools or low quality tools. And I've said a bunch of times that one of the things that I'm a huge supporter of is buying cheap stuff, see if you use that tool, And then if you do and you need to upgrade it, then you know what you're looking for. For instance, a solid example of that would be a bandsaw. If you buy a cheap bandsaw, buy a second-hand one or whatever, when you use it and you set it up and you have to work hard to get the best out of it, it teaches you how they work. Yeah. So that means whatever you get from that point on is only going to be a cherry on the top, you know? Now, when I got my Titan bandsaw, I loved it, and I think it did a grand job. It wasn't perfect, but for what I needed, it did a really, really good job. But I needed it to, or I wanted a bigger or a deeper throat. You know? I wanted it to be able to cut a higher bit of wood, and I found that to be really annoying. And then when I started resawing wood that I'd milled, then I figured I wanted to be able to put a like a 1/2-inch blade at least in it, and the Titan couldn't handle that. So I wanted to change it for those two very, very specific reasons, not just because it was more expensive. And in fact, I've got my old Elu, which is a pre-DeWalt, before DeWalt took over Elu, and it's got a nice deep throat plate, or throat cutting capacity. It'll take 1/2-inch blades. Is it perfect? No, but it does an absolutely fine job for a lot of things that I'm going to need. And I only would have known that if I had by having the Titan first, you know? Because if you go on to Facebook groups and forums and stuff, and you say, oh, well, what one of these should I buy? You'll always get a load of people say, oh, you need to buy so-and-so and thing. But very rarely do people actually back up their recommendation with reasons. And, you know, so why are you saying that should be the case? Why, for instance, the Tormek /XL machines. Now, I guarantee the XL will be a poorer quality, but what does that look like? Does it mean things are going to be wobbly? Does it mean that things are going to be out of square? Does it mean that the supports will fold up and go wrong? Does it mean that the motor will burn out? What does it actually mean? Because when something's a poorer quality, doesn't mean to say it's not going to do exactly what you need it to do. And that's something that I think gets lost, you know. And this is a great thing about not having very much cash. It means you kind of make the best of what you've got. But yeah, so it's nice to have some aspirational gear. But at the same time, I only know that I really like the idea of a Laguna because I've seen one in the flesh, because it's a kind of legacy saw. It's one of those saws that you can have that'll you'll keep for years and years and years. And I don't need a saw stop. I couldn't afford to replace the motor and the blade and all that sort of stuff every time it went off because I'm a clumsy idiot. Granted, it's better than losing your fingers, but you know, I've already done that a couple of times, so we'll be all right. Anyway, right, that camera really is kind of moving round somehow. I don't know how that's happening. Right, what are we saying now? Wrong with that? Yes, please, more live funnies. I love the workshop live streams. I watch when it's on when it's on in Shed Space and Dave Stanton in Australia. More live stream. Nice to chat with other woodworkers. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much indeed, guys. So, you know, that's been a fairly solid stream. We're horribly disappointed because the nut doesn't work, but we've all learned something. And that is not to get excited just because it's Christmas. So I'm going to go back to putting this on, and that's it. Sod Christmas, but table saw don't work. Right, live streams. What happened to Can a New Woodworker Make Money series? Thank you for that, Richard. And I've still got the wood that was donated for that. It turns out that I didn't have the confidence, skills, or any level of ability to take that further at the time. And so that's something that, in fact, yeah, sorry, before everybody goes, if there's any other questions, just shout them out right now. But yes, so I realized very early on that I just didn't, my brain was kind of letting the invasive thoughts win. I have an affliction, and that affliction is, I don't know if it's narcissism or misplaced confidence or whatever, but for some reason, I think I can do anything. And then it's the doing of it then I realise maybe I can't. And so then it annoys me enough to try and learn it enough to be good at it. So, yeah. So I have this misplaced confidence, narcissism, whatever, to do that. But, yeah. So sorry, Dean, I have to go. Nice to be part of the stream. See you later, Wonky. Thank you very much for joining in, buddy. So, yeah. So that's a challenge that I have. And I'm sure is going to be a problem when we move into the new place, because I am going to rip things off walls and then go, that's only plastering. How hard can it be? And I can guarantee it's going to be quite hard. Right. But seeing as there aren't any other questions come through, I think we may as well call it a night. But I know there's like a 15-second time delay or whatever. But hopefully it's been fun. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a pleasant sort of week moving forwards. I know that some people are going to be on their own at Christmas. I've spent plenty of them alone in my time. You know, if you need to let off some steam and get making stuff, strongly advise just getting into it and going for it. And even if you can't, you know, if you're sitting in your room going, I don't know what to do with myself, there's always, you know, you can look through printables and then try and find someone to print you some cool stuff. But that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Right. Where's me? I'm going to have to play my intro because I haven't got an outro. Right. Bye.